topic for today is childhood, the poem 4 of your chapter. Now, in this poem, the poet differentiates between the childhood and an adult. The poet himself is obsessed with the loss of the childhood, and he feels stepping into the world of adult is a gradual process. He points out the growth of individuality, rationality, and the ability to see through the hypocrisy of the grown up. He wants to know when he lost his childhood. Fine. So, this poem is all about wondering. The poet wonders as to when he lost his childhood. Fine, student. Now, coming to the paraphrase, the stanza 1 of your poem, line by line. When did my childhood go? Was it the day I ceased to be 11? Was it the time I realized that hell and heaven could not be found in geography and therefore could not be? Was that the day? Dear student, in the very first paragraph, the poet put a question to himself and he says that when did his childhood go? And finally, he gave the answer himself and he says that his childhood might have gone the day when he realized that he had completed 11 years and the day he realized that hell and heaven could not be found in geography. So he put a question and gets an answer himself. Is this clear? So I'll go with the paraphrase 1 again. The poet says that he does not know when did his childhood go. He viewed that perhaps it was the day when he completed 11 years, or perhaps it was the time when he knew that hell and heaven and the same could not be traced in geography. So he is surprised and so cannot tell the day when he lost his childhood. Okay. Now coming to the second paragraph. In the second paragraph, the poet again put the same very question. So the line goes this way. When did my childhood go? Was it the time I realized that adults were not all they seemed to be? They talked of love and preached of love, but do not act so lovingly. Was that the day? So, in the second paragraph, the poet again put the same very question. When did he lose his childhood? And he gives the answer himself. He says that he realized that when the adults were not all they seemed to be, they talk of love, they preach of love, but they do not act so lovingly. So that was the day when he realized that he has lost his childhood. Okay, now again explaining the second paragraph, the poet put the same question as to when he lost his childhood. In order to know that day, he is surprised when he lost his childhood, and he feels that perhaps it was the time when he realized that the grown ups were not exactly as good as they appeared to be. They frequently talk of love and preach of love, but in dealing, they do not work so lovingly. He is surprised if whether it was the day when he lost his childhood. Now coming to the third paragraph, Peter, in the third paragraph, again the poet has put the same very question.